And let me close more windows. Closing windows.
Vandus?
Windows. There's
What is
any-
this?
Windows is windows.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me close more windows. Much more. Wait, let me see. I think we're streaming, but I'm waiting for YouTube.
Let me see.
How,
Nah, you're not streaming.
I'm not?
Yeah, you're not.
What do you mean I'm
There's
not?
no any sign. Okay, so there's no any sign of streaming.
How
You're
do
not
you know?
streaming. I actually. Oh, now you do. Yeah, yeah. Now you do.
Really
Let me see. Wait,
weird.
wait.
I'm waiting
Give me a second.
for YouTube to react. Okay, now it's better.
Yeah, sure. Your
Uh,
stream is good. It's
Let
fine.
me see. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, my stream is good. Here's the link. Let me give you the link to the
Can I be
stream.
here?
You
Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
if you want, you can join me on StreamYard. But
Ah,
for now,
here is better.
let's stay here because
Yes.
usually when you switch, we lose you. So I don't want to lose you.
No, no. There's no any noise cancellation in there, so I prefer here in Discord. It's way more coherent, I believe.
Let me just close more windows. There's just so many. I was researching quantum physics. Anyway, what do you want to talk about?
Inertia. Actually, multiple things, but we can start by inertia.
Okay, inertia.
Yeah, inertia or inertia. We have to pronounce it coherently.
Inertia.
Really?
Well, I don't
I heard
know.
people think inertia.
Yeah,
Uh,
people usually don't
I
say
believe it.
inertia. They say inertia.
Can I say it inertia?
You can say whatever you want. I mean, as long as I
Sure.
understand, as long as people
Yeah.
understand what you're saying. Okay.
Sure.
Anyway, so what's your opinion on inertia?
So I have a theory. Actually, it's like two theories combined in one. So my hypothesis is we knew inertia exists when there is an atoms. So whenever there is a structure of molecules, there must be inertia or inertia. So we knew liquid has atoms, so liquid must have inertia. But when you change the liquid from a cup to, let's say, to a pool, so when you change the liquid, the water, from the cup to the pool, there would be no sign of inertia. Inertia is basically a force. It's kind of force. It's a sub force actually, but anyway, it's a force. So we we don't observe or perceive any signal when we change the liquid state from a structure to another. There should be inertia according to the law of inertia, but there isn't in liquids. So my theory is liquid doesn't necessarily cause. We know inertia is basically it's an effect. It's an force which is caused by an effect. So my conclusion or my prediction would be I believe I cannot hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can.
You can hear me
So,
doing what?
nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
Just your screen like have that green circle around your picture, around your profile, but there is no any sounds coming.
One, two, one, two. Why? I
Yeah, now it's good. Yeah, you're back.
okay, okay.
So my conclusion, or let's say my prediction, would be, uh, liquid doesn't necessarily cause inertia. So inertia is dependent on the circumstances of the, let's say, of the matter, or as an example of liquid. So
I don't understand what you're saying. I mean, what's your, what's your definition of inertia?
sure. So inertia, my definition for inertia would be it is a force which is caused when the object or the matter change the position. Like for example, we know. Oh, no examples. Yeah, sure.
I wouldn't say when it changes position. I would say when you try stop making noise. So when you try and change the inertia is the momentum. The first law. So Newton's first law is the
Hmm.
law of inertia. The second law is change of momentum, but momentum is really inertia. I don't know.
How?
What do you mean
How does
how?
that make sense? So,
Why?
so it's a given. So you're giving me information. I'm talking about the validity of your information.
Well, if you think about inertia and you think about momentum, it's the same thing. What's the
So
difference?
I have a refutation.
Okay.
Sure. So for you or for inertia to exist, there must be some external power. For example,
Yes.
my watch. My watch is
No
here. Oh,
example.
no
No.
example. Sure,
No.
you understand me.
No.
Then it's
No
fine.
example.
Yeah,
No example.
there's no need for a thesis. Sure. So there's
No.
my
A
refutation.
thesis. Present your thesis. If I need, I'll ask for examples. Anyway,
You never do, but yeah.
because
Anyway,
we're having a good conversation without
yeah,
examples. So who needs it? So
sure.
in I don't understand. Inertia and momentum are obviously the same. How are they
But
different?
just prove it, or again, or different. I would say a different refutation, so you can understand this. So momentum is an external power. Without going into
No.
details,
No.
you just say yes.
Change of momentum is force. The definition of force is change of momentum. In order to have a change of momentum, you need an external force. That's Newton's second law. Newton's
But for
first
you,
law, what?
no, no, you can continue. I guess I'm listening.
Newton's first law is the law of inertia, which says that as long as you don't have a force, so there's no change in momentum, there's no change in inertia. The second law and the first law are the same. It's just that the
Sure,
first
go ahead.
law is F equals zero. So if F equals zero, the change in momentum is zero, which is the change in inertia. So, which is what the first law says, that an object keeps on moving or not moving as long as there's no external force. But that's
But
the
wait,
second law.
inertia. Okay, but inertia is basically it's a resistance between the momentum. Here's my refutation. So for you to understand me better, here's the refutation. I believe first. I believe that inertia is usually different from momentum, or at least different substance.
You want to ask
So here is
ChatGPT? Would you be
I'm not.
satisfied if we asked ChatGPT?
I don't believe ChatGPT is like Jesus Christ. Like, if he say, like, for example, if ChatGPT say 1 + 1 = 3, would you believe him? Of
It's
course
not.
not. It's
It's
appeal to authority. You're appealing to authority right now, right there.
Look,
You're appealing to
ChatGPT.
authority.
I mean, look. So ChatGPT has been trained on the internet. So when
Is
you
Newton.
say
Newton was a trained guy. Newton was a physicist. Newton
everybody,
was someone who knew what he was doing. But if I
you
said I will get you a statement from Newton which prove my hypothesis, you would say no, you're appealing to authority. I'm using your metric against you. I'm saying, oh, if you ask ChatGPT to give his opinion, at the end of the day, it would be his opinion, nothing more, nothing less. So I don't believe in ChatGPT. I don't believe in his authority.
I'm not I'm not telling you let's let's trust ChatGPT. ChatGPT again has been
I don't
trained.
trust him.
Wait, let me just finish a sentence. ChatGPT has been trained on the internet. ChatGPT will just tell you what the internet says. That's all. So,
Um,
the
I
question is
disagree. I disagree, and I have a reason. I have my reasons to disagree. Should I say it, or
no,
would you be
it's
willing
not.
to skip it?
It's actually not important. The point is, I'm not saying let's appeal to the authority of ChatGPT. I'm just asking you, would you like to see what the internet says? Would you like to see what ChatGPT says? That's all. I'm not saying let's appeal to ChatGPT's authority.
So if ChatGPT agrees with you, what would be changing in our dialectic? Is our dialectic would be shifting into you telling the truth of something? Because if yes, then you're
No,
appealing to authority, and
no,
if
I'm not.
no, then
I'm
you're not
not.
appealing.
No, no, I'm not. I'm wondering what would happen if you would see ChatGPT's opinion. That's all.
Sure.
Maybe ChatGPT will give a better argument than I would, and we would
Yeah,
just.
sure.
I just want to save time. But in order for you to see this, okay, I'll
I'm going
just
to watch it. Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
yeah,
Like on the
I'll
stream.
share it on the stream. Okay, I'm sharing it instead of you. So now I don't think they can hear you. It doesn't matter. They cannot hear you when I share another tab. So what I'm going to do? Wait, ChatGPT. I want to ask ChatGPT. So let's go here. So we're gonna ask ChatGPT, what is the difference between inertia and momentum? The difference between inertia and momentum lies in what they describe about an object motion or at rest. Inertia definition. Inertia is a property. Oh my god. Momentum definition. Momentum is the quantity of motion. This is useless. Okay, stop. This is useless. It's just defining each, and we're gonna have to carefully. Okay, you tell me what's the difference. Hold on, let me share your screen. Okay, stop muting yourself and tell me what's the difference and why is it and why should. Well, what's the difference and why should I care?
That's crazy.
So, what's the difference between inertia and momentum? What is inertia? What is momentum?
Oh, I wanna sneeze so bad. But
Sneeze
anyway,
bad,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But anyway,
Hmm.
sure. You're asking me what is the difference and why should we care or value the difference? Sure. So first, the difference will be here. Are you focusing with me or something? You're playing. Childish.
Yes, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Here is the difference between inertia and momentum from
Yeah,
my perspective.
yeah.
Um, Inertia, from my perspective, would be the resistance between the atoms and the external force. We know, we define momentum must
Let's forget.
exist by
Let's forget about atoms. Let's just ignore the atoms.
structure.
Let's say we're
Atoms,
in
it's
let's say
important.
no. Let's say we are in the age of Newton. They didn't know about atoms at the age of Newton, like
Why
1600.
should we wait? So why should we go to
Because
circumstances
Newton.
where they were ignorant? They were ignorant. We
Oh
believe
my
that.
god. Because I'm trying to understand why should I care? This is like the most.
You cut me off. I was going to tell you.
Oh.
You have asked me shotgunningly two questions. So I was going to
But
tell you why should
I
we
don't want to
value
get
the
no,
difference.
I don't want to talk about atoms. When we talk about momentum and inertia, there's no reason to talk about atoms.
How and momentum and inertia is caused on the atoms. It's like a force which appealing to the atom. It's not appealing to any. It's not appealing to anything but
Okay, let me
atoms.
ask you. Okay, what is causing the mass of the electron? What gives the
How is that
electron?
related? How is that related?
Let's talk about another thing. Did we or did we not lose the internet? One, two, three. Can you hear me? Hi. It's disconnected. One, two, three. One, two, three. Can you hear me? Andrew? Okay, voice is connected. Andrew, can you hear me? Andrew, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Andrew? Where's Andrew? Hi, I got disconnected, but now I am back. We're back, baby. But Andrew is gone. Andrew is gone, unfortunately. Who's Mario? What is this? Oh, this.
I'm back.
Okay, what happened?
I have no clue. Actually, you got muted for no reason.
I got disconnected, but where did you go?
I
You,
was drinking water,
of
like taking a
course.
break or
Of
something.
course, of course.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh my God. You want to change the subject? Talk about something which is more interesting
I mean, I'm
or not?
fairly interested in talking about the inertia and the momentum of the
There is no point.
electron. What?
There is no point.
Why?
I guess we are going to rotate around circles. Maybe we can
Why?
continue our discussion about gravity. I think it's more interesting or more
Yeah.
coherent for me. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Can
So
you open your
why does the apple fall?
damn?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sure.
so why does the apple fall and accelerate towards the ground?
Yes,
What
yes.
causes that?
So there is something which is called aether. Wait. Let me do this. Wait, where are you?
I'm
Here.
opening a new
So,
one.
yeah, I just saw that. So there is something which is called aether, right?
Mhm. Okay.
Aether is like a substance which is everywhere
Mhm.
because everything is attached or affecting by gravity. Therefore, there must be or there is necessary to exist something which we call as an aether. And the
Mm.
aether is what is given the apple the gravity. It's like pushing it. It's like getting a punch from the aether. And when the aether touch any substance or any physical material, it disappear.
Mhm. Okay.
That's the
I'm
theory
lost.
or the hypothesis.
I'm lost. So I'll ask you again. Why does here's an apple, here's the ground. Oops, let me do a different color. Here's the ground with three lines like this. This is how we symbolize the ground. And here is
I
the.
can't see it. Oh my god,
What do you mean you can't see it?
it's like super huge.
So
I would watch it from
so
the
move
stream. Yeah.
away. No, just scroll away. Just watch, yeah,
Uh,
watch it from the stream. You can watch it from the stream.
okay. All right.
So here is so there here is an apple, right? A red apple and a red ground. Why does the apple fall and accelerate towards the earth? What causes that?
Okay. So the apple is falling due to aether.
I'm listening.
Hello.
Hmm.
Finished. It's called the aether.
No, no. So here, I'll ask you in a different way. So let's create a laboratory condition in space, right? In space, if we have an apple, let's imagine an apple. Here is even a tree, an apple tree. This is an apple tree. This is a branch of the apple tree. But this is now in space. In
How?
we
What?
are we are in space. We have a ground. We have a
This is
ground.
space.
Yes,
Then
in
it's not a
space.
space.
And there's no.
What are you
We
talking?
are in space. There's no. The universe is empty. We are in an empty universe. No Earth. Nothing. All we have is
Planet.
a little space capsule, like a little container. In this container, we have some Earth, and we have a
Mm-hmm.
tree, and the tree
Mm-hmm.
has an apple.
Here is my theory.
Wait, let me finish the question.
Sure.
So this is given. Now I want to sever this connection here, and I want this apple to accelerate towards the ground
All right.
at 9.8 meters per second square. How
Sure.
would you do that?
Okay, so my explanation for
No,
this
I
phenomena.
don't want an explanation. I want you to
Why?
simulate, because I want you to simulate gravity. How would you simulate gravity? I
Sure,
want
there
you,
must be an explanation,
it's
or
not an explanation. It's like, how would you do it? This is a mechanic. I need you to build a mechanical contraption. This is my definition of science. In science, we build a mechanical contraption that replicates or
not
duplicates,
necessary. That is not
reproduces
necessary.
what?
That is not necessary the way which
Mhm.
science works. Science work by seeing a phenomena and then doing a prediction.
Yeah, but part of the scientific process is to build a model, and the model needs to and he's gone, and just like that. Yeah, we always lose Andrew. Andrew is always on borrowed time, unfortunately. All right, so unfortunately, we have to forget about Andrew and continue on our merry way because he never comes back. And the next day I ask him what happened. He's like, "Well, I had to get a drink of water after all." Right in the middle of a discussion, I had to get a drink of water. I had to talk to a friend. It's like it's always some nonsensical reason why he had to leave. Anyway, let's see what we got. I lost friends over this. Nab Noor jumps. This is 45 minutes. Twitter space and confronts destiny. Hmm. War in Lebanon. Israel has already surrendered. This is this is not enough. Wait, somebody's texting me something somewhere. Oh, not here. Somewhere else. No, that's on Discord. So something just happened on Discord. Wait, maybe in general? Your name is the smallest infinity. What is that? Vegan gains. Hey, I think I was removed from Isaac's server. Can you help me? What is this? Vegan gains. Aleph null? Your name is the smallest infinity? What? What? And what's this? Hey, oh, so you said to Vegan Gains, hey, I think I was removed from Isaac's server. Can you help me? Was Vegan Gains here? I don't think he was here. What is this? Dr. Alpha. ERB Aspasia. Call out Order 66 Vegan Gains for being vegan. What's going on?
Vegan Gains, this is for you, bro. I'm calling you out tonight. Vegan Gains. You know what, Vegan Gains? All you do is eat vegetarian food. Why you eat that stupid tofu shit? That stupid tofu shit and almonds and shit like that. I'm calling you out, Vegan Gains. Vegan Gains, you eat tofu and almonds and all that gay shit. You're not a carnivore. You eat that stupid tofu shit. It's pretty retarded. You know what? I've been around YouTube since 2007. You don't know that, but I'm calling you out, Vegan Gains. Vegan Gains, you are such a freaking vegan, bro. It is
Yeah.
not even.
Yeah, he is vegan, but I don't know if you can call out that he's vegan. I mean, he doesn't deny that at all. Anyway, um, this is. Let me see if there's anything interesting. Jewish ritual. Centrifugal acceleration. Supersonic test plane. Stop laughing at me, right winger humiliated as his question goes viral.
Present.
At 36 right now, the U.S. government running out of time and money. Last week, a 6-month funding extension failed to make it through the House. At 30.
And
Wait,
someone
what?
tracked down and someone tracked down the women Kamala Harris says are bleeding out in parts.
Present. I'm right here. I had a 19-day miscarriage in Idaho because of the abortion regulations. I was turned away not from one ER, but 2 ERs. Technically 3, because I walked into one and they said they wouldn't help me, and I had to walk out. On day 8, I went to the 3rd official ER that I got checked into, and I never did receive a DNC.
So no one disagrees that abortion is murder. It's just that everyone agrees, or women in general all agree that they like abortion, even though it is murder or it's not. Who knows? It doesn't matter. There's no discussion about is abortion murder. So as far as I know, if I induce an abortion, that's murder. So abortion is murder. But so Republicans, they're like, oh, it's murder, so let's make it illegal. But women are like, we like murdering babies, so let's make it legal. So, and that's basically the discussion. And since women are very focused on this issue, there's really not much Republicans can do about it. They can try and make it illegal and keep losing, or they can get on board and make it legal and win. So Trump realized that it's a dead end and he needs to support abortion in order to survive politically, and that's the beginning, the middle, and the end of it. It's just practical. So anyone who thinks that there is morality in this universe, that's a joke. Obviously there is no morality. And whether you like it or not, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you like things or don't like things. Reality is reality, and people are not moral. People are egoistic. If you need any more evidence, Israel's latest terror attack. Imam reacts.
Islamic Bacon Mahi My Barracuda. I am Imam Icy. They call me Imam Icy because I give you the cold hard truth about the wonderful religion of Al-Islam. And of course, I'm here today to talk to you about the most recent terrorist attack. Not that Hezbollah attacked, but that Hezbollah was attacked, you see, by Israel. Or as I like to call it, Jewville. Either way, it's not on my map. It doesn't matter. Here's what happened according to my sources. Hezbollah had been using cell phones, but they suspected that those...
That's so funny. So it's funny. It is funny that people are being killed. I mean, terrorists basically are being killed, or enemies of Israel are being killed, because I'm on the side of civilization, and Israel is on the side of civilization. And anyone who is against Israel basically is against civilization. When you listen to them, they're just against civilization, whether they're Islamists or leftists, some type of anti-civilization. So as long as they're being killed, it's funny. I would prefer if they would get on board and become capitalists like me. That would be better. But if there is no alternative and they're going to be enemies of civilization, then and they get killed while they're trying to destroy civilization, I'm just going to laugh. I'm not laughing because that's what I want. But given two alternatives, the alternatives being they're going to destroy civilization, or they're going to be destroyed by civilization. If these are the only two options, then I choose option B. They should be destroyed by civilization. I'll just laugh. Now, if I would give them a third choice, it would be get on board and be part of civilization and enjoy the comforts of civilization. And if they would do that, that would be the best. But as long as that's not on the table, then unfortunately, I'm gonna keep laughing. It's like a Joker laugh. It's like I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Hey, what's up, you lot? Path here, and in today's video,
This guy has like the most advanced math. He's like the most advanced mathematician, the most advanced physicist, and he explains things in the most nonchalant ways and the deepest way. And I don't know, like where does he know? And he's actually just a musician. I don't know what to do with this guy.
hey, what's up, you lot? Path here, and in today's video,
What is La Parthia? He always starts. His name is.
hey, what's up, you lot? Path here, and in
Oh, what's up? It's Parth here.
hey, what's up, you lot? Path here.
What's up? You love Parth here, I guess. So dq dt, which is the change in charge plus the closed area, double integral. Yeah, no, ds. Oh, wait, ds is not an area. ds is a path. Is sigma. I don't know what that is. Continuity equation. Oh, this is not even physics. This is just continuity. Oh,
Hey, what's up, you lot? Path here, and in today's
fluid mechanics. No audio.
we are talking about this equation here, often used in many different forms throughout physics. Now, as always, although it looks quite complicated, you won't need to know any advanced mathematics in order to follow along with this video. If you enjoy this video, then please do hit the thumbs like to support me on there.
Stop.
And for good reason. The equation that we're studying today is known as the continuity equation, and for good reason. It basically deals with the flow of some abstract quantity over time and through space. The way that I like to think about it is that it makes sure that there are
So this is the foundation of Navier-Stokes. The math found everywhere in physics, matrices.
no continuity errors for whatever phenomenon we happen to be studying. Although that's just my silly little interpretation. The equation can be written in a couple of different forms, but for the purposes of this video, we'll be sticking with
This is the rho dt, the change in density, plus the divergence of some vector field is sigma. I don't know.
this form here, the integral form, because I think it's the most intuitive and easy to visualize way to understand this equation. Let's begin by first understanding what Q means in this equation. Q simply represents the amount of a particular quantity that we happen to be studying in a given region of space. For example, if we want to study the flow of particles through some region, then Q is simply the number of those particles in.
What's amazing is that this guy is Pakistani or Indian, but he speaks, obviously, he was either born in England or whatever. His English is perfect. He has this beautiful, perfect English, and he's completely Western. He has nothing to do with Eastern civilization, except for his skin color. But everything else about him is completely Western. So anyone who complains about, and anyone who's racist, that racism makes no sense. I mean, I'd rather have this guy as a friend because he's so knowledgeable and he seems to be so nice and so Western and so cultured. Then I don't care why would skin color? Why should I care? Why would I care about skin color when this guy's obviously the most amazing person I could have as a friend?
In that region of space. If we're trying to understand the flow of energy, then Q is the amount of energy in that region of space. And there are lots of other quantities that Q could represent, which we will see later. But the point is that Q represents the amount of stuff that we happen to be studying in a given region. For those of you familiar with calculus, you may have spotted that this term, dq by dt, is simply measuring the rate of change of this amount of stuff. In other words, how much this stuff changes per unit time. If we stick with particle flow for now, then dq by dt simply represents how the number of particles in our region of space changes per unit time. If the number of particles in our region increase,
But I think Q, this volume is infinitesimal. It's not a real volume. It's an infinitesimal volume. Isn't it? Or is it? I don't know.
increases over time, then dq by dt is positive, and if it decreases, then dq by dt is negative. This term essentially measures how quickly the number of particles in our region changes with time. Let's move on to the second term then. It looks a little bit more intense, but let's work for it bit by bit. Let's start by looking at J. J is known as the flux of the quantity that we're studying. In the previous example, we were studying the number of particles, so J is the flux of particles. What does that mean? The flux of these particles basically measures how many particles are crossing a particular surface per unit time. And with the general definition of flux, we could be looking at any surface that we choose. So how many particles are crossing this particular surface per unit time? And importantly, the flux also accounts for the direction in which these particles are traveling. Now, the rest of this term basically deals with the total flux of these particles over a very specific surface. In particular, we're looking at a closed surface. Let's say that we choose this cube to be our closed surface, or at least the 6 faces of our cube form the closed surface. It's worth noting, by the way, that this cube
Oh, it's a closed surface. That's what the loop on the double integral. What the heck is going on? Okay, that's not relevant to me. Let me shut down. Oh, stop making noise. Stop making noise. Let me see that everything is off. Yeah, everything is off. So, so J, vector J is the flux of particles. Okay.
is just an imaginary surface that we decided to study. There's nothing physical about it. We've just chosen that this is going to be the closed surface that we want to look at. We can call this cube S, and we can look at the flux of particles across each one of this cube's faces.
Is J the flux or is J just the vector field? I don't think it's the flux. I think it's the vector field. But he says it's the flux. Is flux a vector? How could you have a vector flux? That doesn't make any sense. J must be a vector field. If it's a vector field, it's just a vector field. Why do you call it flux? Total flux over closed surface. I mean, vector field over a closed surface is the flux. I think he's wrong.
In our equation, ds basically represents a very small chunk of one of these faces. So what we're doing with this term is we're looking at the flux across lots of these little ds area elements, as they're known, and we're adding up all of the fluxes across all of these.
J times ds is a little bit of flux. J ds is the flux. J in itself is just a vector that maybe describes the motion of the cube. So I think he's misunderstanding.
These little area elements to find the total flux across the entire surface S. For those of you familiar with integration, this is not a new idea. Adding up lots of little bits to find.
If you're saying this is the total flux, that means J ds is the flux because you're integrating over ds. And it's J dot ds. So only if ds is aligned with J, where the vector is probably in the normal to the surface. So only that part of J that is completely perpendicular to that little area, to that little surface, only that vector. This is very similar. This is very similar to Gauss's theorem.
Find the total, whatever it is you're trying to find. But if this idea is new to you, then check out this video that I made a little while ago. It should hopefully clear things up. A couple of other things to note about this term. Firstly, the double squiggly lines tell us that we're integrating over a two-dimensional surface, two-dimensional area. And this makes sense because all of our little area elements are indeed areas. They're two-dimensional. Secondly, this loop here, this closed loop.
The 2 dimensions is an area. 1 dimension is one dimension, and the one integral is 1 dimension. The second one is the second dimension. 2 dimensions is an area. ds could be viewed as dx times dy.
Loop tells us that we're integrating over a closed surface.
And the loop just says it's a closed surface.
This is why we had to choose something like S, which is indeed a closed surface. We could have chosen, for example, a sphere, or I don't know, something that looks like.
ds is not a closed surface, by the way. He's completely misunderstanding this. ds is not the closed surface. ds is part of a closed surface. These 2 integrals describe a closed surface. This is where this is the surface. This is the complete surface. This is just an element in the surface. This is not. Yeah, this is from 3 years ago. I, for one, thoroughly enjoy. By the way, I wish everyone a good example. Let's go to the. He usually has a lot of comments. He usually has like 1,000 comments. Let me see how many comments he has. Only 100 comments. Okay, So very few comments on this video. Okay. Oh my God, I'm the first viewer. EQ is made on current understanding. What is EQ? Oh, I love you missed the significance of the dot product with respect to the surface. Path G, please make a Discord server. Wait a minute. Does he have a Discord server? This is the coolest idea. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely correct. Encourage more. We should look him up. Let's say some stuff, energy, I don't know. Well, prism at minimum. Parth, please do make a calendar for any earthquake. Yo, this is some serious sciencey. Hi, Parth. Would this apply? What is the differential form of this equation? Is the integral part of the equation the divergence? It would appear to be. They would make sense because for water of the magnetic field, both dj, dt, okay, whatever. I don't know. Can you explain about the perturbation theory? Ripples. Very few relevant comments, relevant to the discussion. Very few. In a recent publication of Nature, okay, you are really great, nice. Maxwell Heaviside equation, which I presume can be derived as well. Which one? I think the first one. What a lovely breakdown. After hearing this out, I understood that I know a lot of stuff but lack intuition. I have no clue how to solve anything. You make content, just intrigued on, but wow, are you a great teacher? Reminds me of how Luke Skywalker said to Yoda, I'm looking for a great warrior. So Yoda said, war does not make one great. I would say there's no great teacher. Teaching does not make one great. You need to simplify. You need to be the opposite of a great teacher. A good teacher almost doesn't teach. You need to simplify stuff to such an extent that it's not teaching anymore, that it's so simple that it becomes completely intuitive, and then it's not teaching, it's so simple. Then you're a great teacher, but by then it's like, anyway. So yeah, we're gonna have to listen to this again. I think he's wrong about everything.
Like this, but it has to be closed. There can't be any openings to it. And of course, the S near the integral sign specifically tells us that in this case, we are integrating over the surface we have called S. Now, in reality, S doesn't have to be a cube. It can be any closed surface. But the important thing is that when we choose S for this particular term, we apply the same surface to the rest of the equation also. Thusly, it's worth noting that we could use a couple of different conventions for this term here, but the way that it's written, it's actually measuring the number.
So the QDT talks about the same surface, the stuff inside the enclosed surface, I guess.
Of particles leaving our closed surface S. Basically, if this term ends up being positive, then we know that particles are leaving our volume.
So the amount, this seems to be Gauss's theorem, just another way to talk about Gauss's theorem. The amount of stuff, let's say, leaving is the flux over the surface. The amount of stuff disappearing from within the volume. This Q is the volume, maybe. The change in the volume is the flux through the surface of the volume.
through the
This is just Gauss's theorem.
surface S. And if it's negative, then we know that particles are entering our volume through the surface S. Now let's quickly go back to the first term in our equation. Remember that Q is representing, in this case, the number of particles in a particular region of space. I was very pedantic about saying region of space over and over again.
This talks about the volume. 1 second. What's going on here? What are you discussing about? I am discussing right now. I'm just reviewing videos. I would like to do quantum mechanics. I want to go back to doing reviews of a video lecture that I started doing last time. I don't know if it's here. Yeah, I don't think it's here, but I want to do a review of quantum mechanics. But right now I'm just reviewing Parth video, this video.
Well, the important thing here is that the region of space.
So this is just the change in volume. The change in the stuff inside the volume. The amount of stuff, as he says. Amount of stuff, particles in a given volume.
Space we're considering is the region of space enclosed by the surface S. In other words, the first term is measuring the rate of change of the number of particles in our volume, which we can call V, and this volume is enclosed by the surface S. And the second term is simply measuring how many particles are entering or leaving that volume through the closed surface S. It therefore makes sense for the final term of this equation to simply be equal to the number of particles either created or destroyed in this volume. Let's just assume that.
So let's assume it's 0.
For now, this is possible. We can somehow create or destroy particles. We're not going to worry too much about the physics of that just yet. But basically, the intuitive understanding of what this equation is trying to tell us is most.
Right. If let's say there is change in the amount of stuff in the enclosed volume, but no particles went out or came in through the surface, and that's non-zero. So that's a violation of the conservation of particles. Let's say some amount of particles, right? So, but if this should be 0, right? Wait, something is going on. Mario. Yes, sir. How are you? Mario.
Hello, Mr. Slave.
Hello.
Hello, how are you, bro?
I'm okay. What's up?
I am good, bro. You know Mario
No,
above me.
I don't know. Never seen him before.
Mario. It's escape, Mario. Oh, Mr. Slave.
Yeah.
I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you a question, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is صدق الله الحكيم halal or haram?
Sadak. Wait, what? Ask me slower. Maybe I'll figure it out.
صدق.
Sadak, yeah, Sadak. I know.
It's a
Sadak.
credibility.
Yes, I know. You don't have to explain to me. Okay,
Yeah.
is Sadak what? Of course. Is it halal or haram? Of course it's halal.
يا ابن اللعيبه
Okay.
عمر
why some people is speaking haram?
Maybe like, I mean, I could see how it could be haram. I mean, anyway,
Yeah.
it's haram that you cannot touch it because you're giving it away. So you cannot touch it once you dedicate it. So it's haram. You're not allowed to touch it.
Yeah. Mario. ما رأيك؟
Yes.
I see is right. Okay.
You see.
Yeah.
You see the right. You see I'm right. What?
I see you are right.
You agree
No,
with
no,
me?
you are right and not wrong.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mario, your English is
You're
bad.
It's
I
okay.
agree. My English is so
Gay. What the fuck?
Anyway, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know what you say.
Talk about quantum
Mario.
mechanics.
Yeah, I'm doing a deep dive into quantum mechanics these days. Do you have any questions?
Hmm. Do you know the quantum superposition?
Yeah, it's nonsense. It's literal
Uh,
nonsense. It's not
but
it's not it's not metaphorical
most of
nonsense.
the scientists say that logical. Yeah.
Look, if you say something is illogical, then in other words, it's nonsense. So quantum,
Yes, I know.
yeah,
I tell you that most of scientists say that is logical.
I don't care what scientists say. I mean, yeah, but most scientists that you talk to, they would say superposition is real. They actually believe in superposition. Yes. Yes. Very sad. That this is why we're doomed.
Mr. Slave,
Yes.
what do you think of the time? Is a dimension or no?
Time as scientifically defined. You define scientifically by measuring it. The way to measure time is with a clock. So
Clock.
so if you define a clock, you define time.
Mm, mm, mm. What do you think of general relativity, Einstein?
I think it's correct, but Einstein never understood it, and everybody else follows Einstein. They misinterpret. They don't understand the math.
Mm,
They don't understand it.
mm. But he said that the time is a dimension.
Well, that's special relativity. That's not general. Well, in
Ah,
special
mm,
relativity, it's not that he said it, it's his teacher, Minkowski, said it, and Einstein hated it, but later Einstein liked it. But treating
mm.
time as a dimension is an idea that Minkowski came up with. It's very convenient.
Yeah. Mario, Mario, ما رأيك؟
Mr. Slim, I think the general relativity that say the time is a dimension, not the special one.
In general relativity, time is a dimension in just as I explained. In special relativity, Minkowski said that we can treat time as a dimension, and then you can draw x versus t or t versus x, and you can get very nice. It has a
Mm,
powerful explanatory power. The Minkowski diagram is very powerful. It's very useful. So I don't see, but it's
mm.
not relativity. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's irrelevant. General relativity is a theory of gravity. It's not really.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
speed.
yeah. Thank you. What? What do you What do you say is Mario? Mario.
Uh, what يا عم
ايوه قول له
يا بص انا فاكر الايام بلعب.
قول له العالم الخيال، قول له العالم الخيال 3 دي.
يا عم ما اتوقعش بيناقش فيكشن.
I don't
اسال
understand.
واحد اسال واحد.
My Arabic is not good enough.
No, I Blade want to ask you if you discuss about fiction.
Fiction?
فيكشن
Yes,
يا.
fiction.
Okay. I don't. In general, I don't
Anime,
like
manga, comics.
what.
Like anime, manga, comic,
I don't
منهوا.
know.
anything like that.
I don't know any manga. I don't even know what the word manga means. I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay, like a comic book. Manga
I don't.
is a like a comic.
I don't even know what a. I know what a comic book is. I saw a comic book maybe once, but I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about. I know Superman and Batman and Spider Man, but I.
Yeah. There,
It's like that,
there
like that.
is a hentai too.
Hentai is good. Yeah, I like hentai.
What
Hentai
the
is.
fuck?
What
Okay. No, but they يعني
The what?
wait a second, wait a second.
What?
Wait a second. Do you know about scaling or
Scamming?
power scaling?
Power scamming? Power scaling?
Power
power
scaling.
No, I
scaling.
scaling, scaling. I don't know. I don't know what that is. What is that?
Power
Just
killing
fuck.
system.
Don't research about that. This is just a shit.
In ontology and cosmology.
Cosmology? Yeah, I know a little bit of cosmology. What do you want to
You
know?
you are omniscience.
I have a very interesting theory that simplifies everything in like my
Like what?
what?
Like what?
My theory, I have an ether theory. So if you view the world as they used to before Einstein with the ether, then everything becomes very simple. Quantum mechanics is simple, general relativity is simple, special relativity is simple, electromagnetics is simple. Everything becomes very, very simple. You can
In your
understand
channel on YouTube.
what?
Channel.
Yeah, I discussed
Yeah.
Ask about your
YouTube.
what?
انتوا بتسكتوا مرة واحدة
He
كده
asked
ليه؟
about your channel.
Speak one at a time. What are you what are you saying?
Blade ask about your channel on YouTube.
You want the link to my channel? One second. I thought you came from my channel. Let me find my channel. One second.
But I would.
Mr. Slave,
Yes,
what do you
sir.
think of you? What do you think of my English?
It's very good. Your English
No,
is
no, no, no.
About what do you think about Mario?
it's good. Good English. You people are very
Oh,
smart. You're very smart.
No, no.
Where are you from?
no.
What country are you from?
Egypt.
Egypt كاريو قولوا كايرو.
Oh, I see. So, but
لا هي نفسها صح يا عم معروف.
do you know Andrew?
يا عم قول له المنوفية.
Andrew is our friend, okay?
Oh, do you go to school together?
No, no, no. But I know from internet.
I see. Okay. So here's my channel. I linked it in the side chat. And I'm always looking for people like you to talk to. We can discuss.
Thank you, Mr. Slave.
Yeah, you should come. You should come often. I'm always looking for more people to have discussions with.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyway, my cosmology is very simple. It's very similar to to general relativity and to what everybody believes, but it's much simpler because I use the ether. So for me, everything is much simpler.
Yeah. Do you know idealism
No, what is idealism?
in philosophy by Plato?
I don't know any philosophy, so explain to me what he said.
Okay, Mr. Steve. Science and other fundamental fields. More about.
No,
Your channel is good, bro.
No, but we can discuss Plato. I mean, if he said something that is correct, then I'll tell you if it's correct. What did he say?
Yeah. Plato and Aristotle.
What did Plato and Aristotle say?
Idealism theory.
What is idealism theory? Never heard of it.
حسنا Plato he is said the world us world is fake but بس
The world is fake?
yeah
No. What do you mean the world is fake? The world is real. What do you mean fake?
no Plato أو he said our world is false or fake what
No. But like, what does that
real
mean?
he said real words is a paradise
No, there's no
real words
paradise. No, there's
Hmm.
no paradise. This is the only world. There is no other world. So he's wrong.
Hmm.
What did Aristotle say? The same thing? The same
Hmm.
nonsense?
What is your religion, Mr. Slave?
I don't have any religion.
Why?
My religion is science.
Science is
Yeah.
religion?
Yeah. Science is a
Hmm.
religion. Yeah. Mathematics is a
Hmm.
religion. Yeah.
Hmm.
Everything is a religion.
I thought you were a Muslim.
No, no, I'm not
Hmm.
Muslim. I'm sympathetic to Sharia. I see nice things in Sharia. Sharia has
Hmm.
nice ideas.
Yeah.
Some nice ideas, some not so good. Like in Sharia, you're not allowed to charge interest. That's not good.
Hmm.
Interest is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good.
So Plato's statements is wrong.
Yes, there's no evidence that
Yeah.
there is paradise. This is the
Hmm.
only world we have evidence for. So to claim that this world is fake is wrong. This
Hmm.
world is real.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah. I don't know. He is wrong or correct. I
Well,
don't know.
there's no evidence. Right? I don't have any evidence to suggest that he.
Yeah.
So that's like if you go to.
I think
Mhm.
I agree with you.
Yeah. If you
Hmm,
if
hmm.
I go to court and I say
Yeah,
something
yeah.
and the judge asks me, "What's your evidence?" and I say, "I have no
Hmm, hmm.
evidence," then the judge says, "Oh, then you're
Yeah.
lying."
Hmm. Yeah. Do you know your opinion is the same as Aristotle? Aristotle.
What did Aristotle say? I don't know what he said. I don't know what anyone
Yeah,
said.
he is. He was very good, bro.
What did he say? What did Aristotle say?
I forgot, bro.
Look, it's not important what Aristotle or Plato or anyone, it's not important what anyone says. It's not even important what Einstein said. It's not important what Newton said. What's
Yeah.
what's important is what is the truth. So if somebody said the truth, then he needs evidence. So the important thing
Mm,
is you need to be able to prove, like
yeah.
if you think Einstein is correct, then what is Einstein's evidence, and then you should be able to prove Einstein correct from the same evidence. So you should not need Newton or Einstein.
Yeah.
So that's it. So
I,
that's why I don't care
I
for
agree
what.
with you. Yeah.
I don't care
Uh,
Plato, Schmato. I don't care.
I think your opinion is logical.
Thank you. I try to
Mm.
be very logical.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Slave. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good
I'll
luck.
see you. I hope to see you again.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye, bro.
Bye bye.
Good luck.
Anyway, thank you. So let's continue. We were watching this guy. Wait, any notifications? We're having good conversations today. That's good. So Andrew is sending us good people. Andrew's friends, I mean, these are high school students. They're very smart. This is really a joy to talk to these people. They know about general relativity, about Plato and stuff. This is really great to talk to them. And when I tell them, what I believe, they, like if I would talk to a normal person from the West, they would say, "How dare you not know what Plato said? You're a terrible person." General relativity, initial impressions. Interesting. Anyway, let's continue listening to Parth. So amount of stuff, right? This is created inside V per unit time. So this is like the total change, I would say. Sigma's, I don't know why they use this letter. This is the actual change in the universe as far as we're concerned. Like some stuff has been created or destroyed.
Easily found, in my opinion, if we move this second term to the other side of the equation. Then this equation simply reads, number of particles created in our volume per unit time minus the number of particles leaving our volume through the surface S per unit time is equal to the net change in the number of particles per unit time. It's actually a fairly common sense based equation, this one. It essentially measures the creation or destruction of some particular quantity, as well as the flow of that quantity either in or out of the volume that we're considering. Now, what we've seen so far is a generic continuity equation that can be applied to lots of different scenarios. And the scenario we saw it applied to was when we were studying.
This is continuity. This is very good. Very good. This is continuity. This describes any change in the universe. This describes the amount that has been changed in a volume. And this is the amount that has left or entered through this volume through the surface of the volume. Very good. So together, this describes the continuity of the universe, because this holds for any volume in the universe that is enclosed by that surface in the universe. So this is the continuity of the universe. Very good. Very good basis for fluid mechanics. Very good.
The number of particles in our volume V, but it can also be applied to other quantities such as.
Wait, we have a message here. Andrew. Stop, Andrew. Stop it with your nonsense. Your name is Andrew. Stop. I don't know how to tell this guy to behave. Please behave. What is this? Is he here? What is that? Oh no, this has just been added by someone. What else? Okay, sir, it's his nationality or you are being racist. What? You are going to get me banned. You know that Discord and YouTube are very sensitive. Okay, when are you coming? I don't even know. Is that how you spell coming? No, I guess coming. When are you coming back? Can't. I will go study how to beat. Okay. I am using my phone data because Wi-Fi is dead. Oh. Okay. All right. Let's get back to parts. So amount of energy, amount of mass, amount of fluid in volume V. Yeah, it's very good. Very
energy,
good.
mass, fluids that can flow, and so many more. Interestingly, when we apply the continuity equation to conserved quantities, such as energy and momentum, you remember conservation of energy and conservation of momentum maybe as laws that you learned at high school. But
So then this becomes 0 and this becomes that. So dq becomes this, and that, I guess, is what's his name? Gauss's theorem. 1 second. No. Oh, all the time and why? Tell me more. Let's talk later. I am streaming on YouTube right now. Okay. All right. Everything is good. I never checked the audio live. Let's check the audio. Is the audio good? I never checked the audio. Audio is good. That's very good. Everyone, please like and subscribe. I know it's a terrible thing to say, but by the way, like and subscribe doesn't help the channel. Like and subscribe helps YouTube know that you like the channel, and just tells the algorithm that you like the channel, and other people like you probably would like the channel. So I guess it does help the channel then. Okay. 1 second, I have a message. Yeah, everything is okay. So let's get back to this. So if we apply to conserve, just means sigma becomes 0, and then dq becomes that. Let's see.
well, in that case, this term here in the continuity equation becomes 0. Let's recall that very famous saying, energy can neither be created
Why does he not call it sigma?
nor destroyed. Well, if we're assuming that that's true, if energy is conserved, then the creation or destruction term must be equal to 0. Since energy is not somehow magically being created in our volume, neither is it being magically destroyed in our volume. The only thing that's happening is that there is a net change in the amount of energy in that volume, and the only way that that can happen is if it moves either in through the surface S or out through it. Now, the description I've used just then is kind of problematic because it seems to suggest that energy is stuff, it's a physical thing, when in reality it's just a mathematical concept. But the idea still holds. We can treat energy as something that flows, and in this case, because energy is conserved, it must flow in or out of any.
I wouldn't say that energy is a mathematical construct. Energy is, it's a physical construct. You can describe it with English, and you can describe it with a subsection, a subset of English, otherwise known as math, expressed in English, but it doesn't make it mathematical. It doesn't make it English. You're not going to say that energy is English. Energy is physical. Energy is something that we noticed about the universe. It's something that we noticed. Like something is moving, we ascribe energy to this motion. We notice the motion.
Any volume that we're studying, they cannot be created or destroyed there. Or we could choose to apply this continuity equation to much more physically intuitive concepts. For example, the number of particles in a given.
What do you mean much more intuitively? Everything is intuitive. If it's not intuitive, then it doesn't exist.
Volume, which we looked at already, or the flow of some viscous fluid. This continuity
It was very interesting that they asked me what I think about superposition. Superposition. The cat is both dead and alive. What do you think about that? Yeah. I'm right now, I'm dead and alive. What, you didn't know that? Yeah, it's true. I'm both dead and alive according to quantum mechanics. You're both dead and alive right now.
equation really is.
Also, you're right now spread all over the universe, if you didn't know that. But sometimes your wave equation collapses and you show up where you are. But when you don't notice, you're spread all over the universe. Yeah, it's true. That's what superposition says, if you were wondering. So now you understand why I think it's nonsense.
Is used everywhere. It's important to note, though, that we might use some different assumptions depending on the exact scenario that we're studying, but it's the logic that's important. This idea that stuff that flows must either be created or destroyed in the volume that we happen to be studying, or it must move across the surface of that volume. It can't just magically teleport itself from one place to another, basically. And
very good. Oh, that's good. There's no. This says there's no teleportation. If the stuff appears here, it must have gone through this, or it must have been created. That's fine. That's possible. But if the creation is 0, then if the stuff appears, it must have entered through the surface of the volume.
That is a very simplistic view of the continuity equation. It really is a very important bit of mathematics. And with all of that being said, if you enjoyed this video, then please do hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my
I wouldn't say it's important in mathematics. I would say it's important in physics. But what I'd like to see
here, often used in many different forms throughout physics. Now, as always, although it looks quite complicated, you won't need to know any advanced mathematics in order to follow along with this video. If you enjoyed this video, then please do hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, and for good reason. It basically deals with the flow of some abstract quantity over time and through space. The way that I like to think about it is that it
exactly. This is a flow equation.
makes sure that there are no continuity errors for whatever phenomenon we happen to be studying.
Good. There's no continuity errors. Very good.
Although that's just my silly little interpretation. The equation can be written in a couple of different forms, but for the purposes of this video,
Okay, so this form, this is the change in density plus the divergence. This is the flux. Is it? No. This is not the. Is it? This is the. No, it's not the flux. This is the divergence. This is the divergence. The del vector of a vector field is the divergence. This is the creation or the destruction in the vector field. This is a sink or a source in the vector field. But what is d rho dt? I don't know.
we'll be sticking with this form here, the integral form, because I think it's the most intuitive and easy to visualize way to understand this equation. Let's begin by first.
This is a sink or a source. So the sink or the source, and what is this? I don't know. Like, this also measures a sink or a source. Like, if something is coming out of the volume, it would be, this would describe it. And this is the change in the volume. This is also, I guess, what's coming in and out of the volume. But what's this? This is the change of the stuff in the volume. So wouldn't this just be dq dt? Is this q?
First understanding what q means in this equation. Q simply represents
what's this? The Catholic killed your ideal Galileo for having allegedly ignorant prop. The proposition that the sun is the center of the world and does not move from its place is absurd and false, philosophically and formally heretical because it is expressly contrary to Holy Scripture. I don't even know why you would say that it is expressly contrary to Holy Scripture. Why would you say? I mean, the Scripture doesn't say anywhere, right? Expressly contrary means expressly against. There's nowhere in the Scripture that it says that the sun is, or the earth is the center. There's nowhere that it says the earth is the center, or any center, or even the universe. I mean, from the Scripture, you read the Scripture, you don't come out with any notion of what the universe looks like. There's no notion of a universe, of the way the universe works in the Scripture. It just says it was morning and it was night, and that's it. That you know, the sun-centric model doesn't deny that there's morning and night, or the earth-centric. I mean, these are orthogonal, completely orthogonal. So the Catholic killed your ideal Galileo for having allegedly ignorant proposition. Okay, whatever. And okay, let's continue with parse.
represents the amount of a particular quantity that we happen to be studying in a given region of space. For example, if we want to study the flow of particles through some region, then Q is simply the number of those particles in that region of space. If we're trying to understand the flow of energy,
Wait, we've been here for just an hour and 20 minutes. Okay.
then Q is the amount of energy in that region of space. And there are lots of other quantities that Q could represent, which we will see later. But the point is that Q represents the amount of stuff that we happen to be studying in a given region. For those of you familiar with calculus, you may have spotted that this term, dQ by dt, is simply measuring the rate of change of this amount of stuff. In other words, how much this stuff changes per unit time.
Good. The change per time.
If we stick with particle flow for now, then dQ by dt simply represents how the number of particles in our region of space changes per unit time.
But this region of space is infinitesimal. We're talking about a region of space that is infinitesimal. I think it has to be. This is an infinitesimal change.
Time. If the number of particles in our region increases over time, then dQ by dt is positive, and if it decreases, then dQ by dt is negative. This term essentially
It's an infinitesimal change by an infinitesimal time. So it's the instantaneous rate of change.
measures how quickly the number of particles in our region changes with time. Let's move on to the second term then. It looks a little bit more intense, but let's work through it bit by bit. Let's start by looking at J. J is known as the flux of the quantity that we're studying.
No, J is not the flux. Arrow on top of J indicates it is a vector quantity. It's not the flux. J is just the vector field. So I don't think he's got it right. I'm going to say we are at 218. No? Okay, 218. J is the flux. No, it is not. It is the vector field. Okay. J is not the flux. Let's make sure continuity. So this guy explains the continuity equation. Let's go to this guy.
Welcome back. In the last video, we derived Gauss's divergence theorem, which is an extremely powerful equality in vector calculus that allows us to derive partial differential equations. So in particular, what Gauss's theorem allows us to do is equate the flux of a quantity through some surface S, given by, let's say I have a fluid flow given by this vector field F, and that fluid flow is moving material mass and energy and momentum around in space. And if
What did he say F is?
let's say I have a fluid flow given by this vector field F, and that fluid flow...
Vector field F. There is flux that is the vector field moving through the surface. That's the flux. That's the flux. F dot N or F dot S. Oh, there's a volume also. And there's N. This is a 3D. This is a potato. But F is a vector field. Mass conservation and volume. Total mass in V is the integral over the volume of rho dV. Density rho at xyz t. ddt of this integral V equals, total mass in V. This is mass. So this is the change in time of this mass enclosed in the volume. So it's the this is Gauss's theorem. And this is rho F dot N ds, or the divergence of the vector field. The divergence in, I should say, the divergence in the vector field. True for all volumes. Mass continuity equation. This is the change in density. So it was change in density.
flow is moving material, mass, and energy and momentum around in space. And if I want to compute how much of that quantity is passing through the surface S, I can compute that one of two ways. I can either compute that by integrating this vector field F dotted into the normal direction
Vector field F. F is a vector field. It's not the flux.
and integrate that along the surface. That would essentially add up how all of this stuff is moving through the surface. Or equivalently, and this is Gauss's divergence theorem, I can compute the divergence of F everywhere in this volume and integrate
the divergence of F, that is how much of a sink or a source this potato is.
all of those divergences over the entire volume. So it essentially gives us a way of equating a volume integral of divergence.
Right. It's the integration of the divergence in every little dv inside the volume. So every little dv is a source or a sink, and we're integrating over the entire volume. This is the divergence of the field, of the vector field.
Divergences, that equals a surface integral of this F dotted into the normal. And we used it in the last lecture to derive this mass conservation equation, this mass continuity partial differential equation, assuming that we have some fluid flow carrying mass, that has some density rho. So rho is the density of my fluid in all of space and time. It's a scalar function. And this vector field F is moving mass around. It's just moving air or water around, let's say in the atmosphere or
yeah, the vector field is just the motion of the water or atmosphere or mass or charge or energy.
The ocean or something like that. And so we could write that the total rate of change of mass in my volume is equal to the amount of mass that is being carried in and carried out of that volume by the fluid. So if I have a total net amount of fluid leaving.
So this is what's going through the surface of the tiny volume, and this is the rate of change of stuff in the volume. The rate of change of stuff in the volume is what's going through the volume.
Leaving the volume, so F dot n is positive.
And F dot n is the no. Is this or is it this?
If I have a total amount of fluid leaving the volume through the surface of this, then that would correspond to a negative rate of change of mass inside the volume. This is just basic accounting. And again, Gauss's divergence
Very good. This is basic accounting.
Theorem says that I can take this surface integral, integrating up around the surface, and I can write that as a volume integral for the divergence of that quantity that I'm computing. And so maybe I'll just make this very explicit. This step here is where we use Gauss's theorem. Okay, so this step from the surface integral to this volume integral is how we use Gauss's divergence.
Oh, okay. This is Gauss's divergence theorem. Okay. That the surface integral, the F dot n over the surface, is the divergence of the vector over the volume. So we're accounting for all the tiny sinks and sources in the volume, and the total sink / source of the volume is equal to the total flux through the surface of the volume. That's Gauss's theorem.
That allowed us to take this quantity here, which is a volume integral, and get another expression under a volume integral, so I can have them kind of under the same volume integral. And what we said is that this is true for.
So this equals this equals this, means this plus this equals 0. And this, right, the volume and the volume, so the integral goes out, and inside you have d dt of rho plus del dot rho f. So the integral of this quantity over the volume integral of this quantity is 0. So from this you get this, that this quantity must be 0. Why? If the integral, then the integrand is 0.
For all volumes V. And so essentially, if this is true for all volumes, you get this partial differential equation. So the thing inside has to equal 0 if this integral is equal to 0 for all volumes V. That's just kind of a nice physical argument. Now,
It's a physical argument? If this is true for... What do you mean? But one might be positive, another might be negative, another might be 0. Why must this be 0? Why must this be true? And this is the continuity equation. Why? There's no physical argument for this. This is not necessarily true. I don't see it. Not from this. You don't get... I don't see it.
I want to do a few things here. I want to point out these conservation laws are extremely powerful. If you draw a volume, a sufficiently large volume V, this is called a control volume, sometimes in fluids or in physics. This can include things like, if there is a nuclear bomb going off in that, or if I have, I don't know, some Death Star creating, some focused laser that explodes a planet. Okay, if my control volume is large enough that it includes all of those effects, and it's kind of, large enough that it includes that, then this basic conservation is still going to be true inside of this volume. So the very, very powerful idea is to compute these integrals over these volumes. A couple things I want to point out that I did not include in my last lecture, and I want to make this a little more general. So the total rate of change of mass in my volume is equal to the amount of mass carried out of the volume or into the volume, but you can also have plus a source term, some volume integral of a source term dV. So for example, if I actually detonated a nuclear bomb...
Okay, it's all very interesting. But I would like to actually continue. Let's see. Okay, we heard parts. Let me see if there's anything else interesting in the universe. What's going on? I clicked on YouTube. Why is nothing happening? Oh, there.
Hey.
Let's see. Let's see this.
Bohr also proposed that the angular momentum...
What's going on? Oh, Andrew. Stop. Please. Oops. We cannot discuss this stuff here. They will take this server down. Only science, please. Bohr also proposed that the angular momentum of an electron in its orbit is quantized. Oh my God. Am I scared of getting banned? Yes. They very easily ban servers, and then it is impossible to get an account back. So we have to be very careful. You have to remember, these kids are high schoolers, so they don't, for them to destroy a server, it's not even a joke. It's completely meaningless. Okay, so So Bohr suggested that the angular momentum is quantized, which is very interesting. But I would say that that is very interesting. That is a very interesting note. Where did he get this notion from? I think he just played around with it and he saw that he's able to explain stuff by assuming that.
Of an electron.
Angular momentum is quantized. Yeah. That basically an electron, right? There's a certain angular momentum. By the way, this is incorrect. The electron is not a particle. The electron is a wave that is waving all around the orbit. It's a complete wave. So you could, and it's basically you could view it as a compression. Let's just view it as like a sound wave, like a sound compression wave. So here you would have, if here you have maximum compression, then here you would have maximum depression. So then you would have one complete wave, and it would be continuous. The electron, of course, needs to be continuous as it's orbiting. As the wave is orbiting, it needs to be continuous. But it's not really a compression wave, not completely, because there is interaction with the Higgs mechanism that slows it down. If it were just a compression wave or any type of wave, it would move at the speed of light. And we know it doesn't move at the speed of light. It's actually, the speed of light is 300 million meters per second. This moves at around 3 million. So it's about 100 times slower than the speed of light. So it's not even relativistic. It's just beginning to become, the speed of the electron is just barely relativistic. Anyway, but it's not a particle. It's a wave. It's waving. Imagine a wave. Imagine a sound wave that is going around. That for some reason it's attracted to the nucleus. What is H? Oh, hydrogen nucleus. Okay. So I don't know why they keep drawing this electron. I mean, it's good for, it's convenient because to draw a wave is much more difficult, and it's not even clear what kind of wave it is. But maybe, what's his name? Schrodinger's equation describes this wave better. But there is a plane of waving, of rotation. It has a certain plane of rotation. It's not a sphere. Bohr's model is very accurate, except for there is no single electron. It's completely spread all over the orbit. It's made up of tiny, 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 tiny electrons, you can imagine. But not even that, because it's a wave. It's a wave that, because it interacts with the Higgs mechanism, it has a mass. It seems to have a mass. It displays the properties that we associate with a mass by bouncing back and forth, by this wave bouncing back and forth due to the interaction with the Higgs. It's what we call mass. So and that slows it down. Okay, but still it is a wave. So you have to remember that when we draw the E, it's not a particle, it's just a convenience. The electron is a wave. Angular momentum is quantized. So it's a wave, and it has a velocity. There is a certain velocity. This wave, if you follow the crest, let's say the crest is here. If you follow the crest, it has a velocity, which is like about 1% of the speed of light. That's at the first orbital. I don't know why they call it orbital. I mean, n equals 1 is it's an orbit, but it's the orbit of a wave. So I don't know if you can imagine. When you look at a galaxy, so a galaxy is very similar. The galaxy, I don't even know if the galaxy is orbiting itself as much as there is waves going through the galaxy. The galaxy is waving. I'm a little hungry, even though I ate, but I'm already hungry.
In its orbit is quantized. In simpler terms, it means that the electron can only have certain, fixed values of angular momentum. Angular momentum is a property of rotating objects. It's all about the relationship between an object's mass, its velocity, and its radius. Imagine spinning a top. As long as it maintains a fixed amount of angular momentum, it will continue spinning without falling over. Similarly, the electron's fixed angular momentum keeps it in its orbit, without crashing into the nucleus. So, electrons can revolve only in orbits of.
No, I don't think this has anything to do with the crashing. I don't know why you say that. But that is interesting. So you're saying, oh, this is very interesting. So Bohr said these two forces balance each other. So the attractive force of the electron to the proton is equal to the centripetal force. So that the acceleration, oh, this is a very, I never thought about this. So the force due to the electric attraction is equal to the force F equals ma is equal to the centripetal force. It's just perfectly keeping it. Interesting.
Fixed angular momentum, that is equal to n, represents the quantum number, or energy level. H is Planck's constant, that is divided by 2 pi. This quantization brings stability to the atom.
Interesting.
Bohr also proposed.
Hello? Hey, Faith, it's your manager. Where are you? Oh, hey, ex-manager. I'm working. Why? Okay, don't play games with me, because you're not here right now, so you're obviously not working. Sorry, let me be more specific. I just finished training at my new job, so yeah, I am working at a different job. Oh, so that's why you haven't shown up the past week. Any reason why you decided not to tell me? What do you mean, why didn't I tell you? You told me that if I went on my vacation, I wouldn't have a job when I got back. So I got a job while I was on vacation so that I wouldn't be without a paycheck. Or was that just all to intimidate me into not going on my vacation? Oh my gosh, Faith, you really need to learn how the real world works, okay? You were still on the schedule, which means you still had a job. And I don't know why you would just decide to go get another one when you had a perfectly good job here. Hello? Hey, Faith, it's your manager.
Bring your picture to the slide. So apparently the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has ordered every one of their members to stop using electronic devices, including like cell phones, pagers, radios, any of that stuff. This is all as a result of last week's coordinated attack on...
Wow. A guy dressed underneath, he's just probably just a fat guy.
On Hezbollah and other IRGC related forces.
Why is he dressed like this? Why can't he dress like a normal person?
In Lebanon. Apparently there is a massive push
Why does he have this hat? Why can't he like dress like a normal person?
now to try to investigate all the electronic devices that everybody in the IRGC has. And
what is IRGC? The Iranian Revolutionary Guard.
And to figure.
So the Revolutionary Guard is not the Iranian military. Why are they called revolutionary? I mean, the revolution happened 1,000,000 years ago. Why are they still in revolution mode?
Out how they're going to communicate going forward. I'm sure that they're extremely paranoid at this point, given the level of devastation that was felt upon their entire organization last week from having been infiltrated and sold devices directly from.
Why has the West allowed for this to even infester? Why didn't the West take care of this much earlier? This is a like these things. It's like Hitler. Hitler could have been dealt with in the beginning very swiftly. You let this thing grow. You let this cancer grow, and then you have to deal with it and just barely survive. What? What? Oh, here, this. Hello, busy again. Okay. IRGC.
Mossad. So apparently.
This is the new charging cord for your iPhone if you get a new one. Not this. Here's why this change is a big deal and why no cord at all is probably the real feature. I went to the Apple event where they announced this. It was wild. The reason for the little port that you have is that it was designed for the iPhone 5. It needed to be really small and light. Before that, it was this big guy, remember? But now the EU announced new regulations requiring all phones to have this port, a USB-C, by 2024. Their goal is to simplify.
Yeah, they don't all do the same, so it's basically worse, I would suggest, because they all look the same but they do different things. I think you can burn, I think you might destroy a device, I don't know, but anyway, they look the same but they don't all work. Like my laptop, it looks like a USB-C, and my iPhone or whatever, I have other devices that are USB-C, but they don't all work with each other. They look the same. They don't function the same.
Charging and reduce waste. Apple says that they're making
reduce waste
a switch because they have no choice, which isn't the way that they announce things, and it makes me think that they're angling for something different long term. And they've been marketing this no cord, MagSafe. Right now, these systems have some issues like energy loss and heat, but you could imagine a standard system like that everywhere. You just put your phone down and it charges, maybe even like embedded in furniture. That's my future bet. Tell me I'm wrong and follow for more optimistic tech videos.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's like, don't interfere with private businesses. The EU, all it's good for is interfering with private businesses. It's none of their business what private businesses do. How is it their business? Loss? Like energy, like waste? What? So, kill yourself. You want minimal waste, then, go away. If you just, feed yourself to alligators, that's minimal waste. Oh, you're not doing that? Oh, so you're not for minimal waste. Oh, what a surprise.
This is from a hotel in Stockholm. It's the lift. It's a series of buttons in the lift. Nothing unusual about that at all, except that these are actually not the buttons that take you to an individual floor. It actually says garage, funk, rhythm and blues. You have a series of buttons. You actually choose your lift music. My guess is that the cost of installing this in the lift in the Lidmar Hotel in Stockholm is probably £500 to £1,000 max. It's frankly more memorable than all those millions of hotels we've all stayed at that tell you that your room has actually been recently renovated at a cost of $500,000 in order to make it resemble every other hotel room you've ever stayed in. This is from Virgin Atlantic Upper Class. It's the Cruet Salt and Pepper set. What's really, really sweet is every single person looking at these things has exactly the same mischievous thought, which is, I reckon I can heist these. However, you pick them up, and underneath, actually engraved in the metal, are the words "stolen from Virgin Atlantic Airways Upper Class." If you actually want people to remember you,
This parrot loves to start her day with a flight around the block, and so after her owner's pep talk and a kiss, she knows it's time to fly, showing just how well trained this parrot is and the amazing trust they have in each other.
That's incredible.
This parrot loves to start her day with a
Arjen Robin, a player whose iconic style left an indelible mark.
This is a piece of 24 karat gold, and this is a vial of isopropyl alcohol. If we submerge the gold and etch it with a fiber laser, the solution starts to turn a purple color instead of yellow as you'd expect.
I don't want to fight. Yo, stop walking away. Fight me. Stop being a coward. Do you know what to do if you've never been in a fight? You got to be aggressive. So if he gets pushed, he has to turn around, face me, and stance. He should be verbally intimidating.
I'm the dominator, the instigator. I'll bite your ear off.
Make sure that you only throw straight punches to get the job done. Sometimes you got to stand up for yourself and fight the fight. Stay safe out there. I don't want to fight. Yo, stop walking away. Fight me. Stop being a coward. Do you know what to do if you've never been in a fight? You got to be.
You have to try and de-escalate. But Kevin Goat, self-defense. You have to try and de-escalate. But yeah, sometimes people are crazy. You have to watch out what they have in the other hand. Like if their left hand is up and they're threatening with it, look at their right hand. Is it inside their pocket? They might be holding a gun or a knife. So you know, just be, anyway, it's complicated.
Aggressive. So if he gets pushed.
Do it. I told that.
Oh my God.
How do you feel about the end of the International Space Station?
It's always been planned that at the end of life, it was going to be targeted.
Another day, another government program, billions and billions and billions of dollars, and they're going to burn it, obviously. What else is new?
Targeted for a plunge in.
You're so proud of being a mutant. Where's your mark?
I have been marked once, my dear, and let me assure you, no needle shall ever touch my skin again.
You know who you're talking to?
Do you?
Back off.
And what can you do?
I got a job that shot in New Zealand, and I found out about it the day after I graduated from high school. And I found out that
Check this out. So this is definitely a piece of wrought iron.
1 second. By the way, here at 1 hour and 6 minutes, they show the same as the paper. 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Anybody else who's experiencing more gravitational pull. And that's just the passage of time. But from each person's perspective, their time looks like they're moving normally. They just think they're moving normally. This is how you can have what they call the twin paradox, where one twin goes up in outer space, one twin goes near a black hole, and now when they meet again, one of them is 20 years older than the other one. Even though they were twins, they should be the exact same age, but they're not. So let's see how they describe it in this video.
This is what happens in the movie Interstellar, when the protagonists land on a planet in the proximity of a black hole. The gravity on the planet is so severe that 1 hour on the surface is equivalent to 7 years on Earth. To understand how motion affects time, let's consider the simplest timekeeping mechanism.
Again, nonsense. A particle moving between two mirrors.
A second passes each time the photon is reflected. Let's imagine two people.
That's not a photon. A photon is a wave.
One in a spaceship slightly above Earth's atmosphere, and the second on top of a small hill just above the Earth's surface. Both are watching a man fall from space towards the ground. Let's say that the falling man is carrying the photon clock explained a moment ago. What do each of the two men observe as the man falls past them? What they observe is eerily similar to what a stationary person would observe when watching a ball bounce in a moving train. As the man falls from space, the light in his clock would appear to move in triangles to the two observers. This would mean that the light travels a longer distance, consequently stretching the duration of a second. It is obvious that the length of triangles the light traces, and therefore the duration of a second, is proportional to the velocity of the falling man.
No, this is actually the reverse. Because whether you believe in the interpretation of whatever, anyway, if you follow the actual math of GR, then space is flowing down. Therefore, this one will actually tick slower. Faster. This one will tick faster because space is flowing through this, or ether is flowing through this. This will tick slower. And this guy, right, I'm assuming he's stationary relative to the Earth, and this guy's stationary relative to the Earth. So because the ether flows into the Earth, this guy will actually, this clock will tick the fastest, not the slowest. This is exactly the opposite of what they say.
When we recall that objects closer to the center of the planet fall faster, we can determine the time would appear to pass slower to the man on the
Nothing to do with how close you are.
hill than it does to the man in the spaceship above. Of course, the difference is infinitesimal. The difference between the time measured by clocks at the tops of mountains and at the surface of Earth is a matter of nanoseconds. Time dilation affects every clock, whether it relies on basic electromagnetism or a complex combination of electromagnetism and Newton's laws.
Yeah, but there is a test you can perform. I need to write a paper about the test. It's a vertical particle accelerator.
Motion. In fact, even biological processes are slowed down. Yes, that's right. Your head is slightly older than your feet.
So I like that last example where he shows that it's really, when you boil it down, it's coming down now to how the light is bouncing. And the light is theoretically taking longer to get to the observer. That's why it appears to be slowing down. I believe it's getting blue shifted in that scenario. They call it red shifted or blue shifted. And if things are speeding away from you, actually redshift, right? Because if things are speeding away from you, they're being redshifted. This is why we believe the universe is expanding, by the way. And so if we see this tired light that is bouncing, as it's taking longer to get to me, the observer, as the person who's right next to it, then we have a situation where our clocks are not running at the same rate anymore. Our clocks are now running at a dilated rate or relative rate from one another. And if you scale that up or scale that down, we're going to start to get some pretty weird effects happening. So when people say you can go to the future, yes, you absolutely can go to the future, because if you go near a black hole without getting caught in the event horizon and come back, you're going to come back in the future. For you, it's going to appear that maybe a few minutes or hours went by, like an experience of Interstellar. 1 hour is 7 years. So if you go hang out for 24 hours, you come back, your entire family, everybody you ever knew is gone. It's now like 144 years later, something like that.
But why is this interesting? This is completely, this is vanilla science.
And before we begin that, we're actually going to reveal a little bit about plasma. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the reason why I'm doing these streams is researching the MH370 videos, going down this rabbit hole of understanding what is the physics and the engineering that has been kept secret from us by the government that enables free energy, gravity manipulation, as well as a number of...
Oh my God, this guy's a conspiracy theorist. Oh my God. Nonsense. Ashton Forbes. Bridges, bridge. Traffic light. Traffic light. Submit. Copy email. Compose. Collab. Hi. What's his name? Forbes? Where is this? Where was I? Oh, here. Oh, okay, I get it. So his name, where is his? I don't see his name here. His name is Ashton Forbes. Okay, copy. So hi, Ashton Forbes. Let me give him a link to my channel. I sent on Discord a link to my channel. I'll take it from here. Copy text. Here is my channel. I'd love to talk and collab. Someone has joined us. Oh, Amber.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, I saw you were talking to Andrew, but I figured I'd come in and see if you want a break.
Andrew was like an hour ago.
I saw it on YouTube.
So it's like an hour ago.
Yeah, you're done then.
Oh, yeah, I'm all alone. I'm writing a letter to Ashton Forbes, collab with my channel. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just finishing up an email.
That's very official.
Yeah, about physics.
What are you
He-
trying to get from them? Like
he-
answers? Or are you trying to get them to listen to you?
No, he's like a conspiracy theorist. I just found him. He's a conspiracy theorist. He thinks the government. Let me just write the email. So the title is collab with my channel. Hi Ashton Forbes. Here's my channel. I'd love to talk and collab about physics. Okay, that's enough. Anyway, he is a conspiracy theorist. I just listened to him for like under a minute, a few seconds, and he's like, the government is hiding from us that there is infinite energy or something, some other nonsense like that. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to get him. Wait, I have a reply. Yeah, I have a reply. I mean, rejected. Mailbox quota exceeded. Oh my god. So this guy doesn't even check his email. He has Proton Mail and it's exceeded. So what a waste.
Damn.
So how would I
He might be one of those people who like Google like subtly did that and didn't tell people. So maybe he doesn't realize it.
maybe I can send him on Twitter. Anyway,
He'll just and be like, I tried to email you, but your email is full. How am I supposed to contact you?
yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's a conspiracy theorist, so he uses Proton, and his Proton is full, and he's not even checking. So he doesn't even. It's a complete night. And whatever. Who cares? Anyway, what's up? How are you? How's your life?
Chaotic.
Chaotic. Okay.
But it's okay. I'm really stressed out right now because my dog like got outside and like we don't know where we are. She doesn't know where she is. And of course she like ran like her, you know, like she's playing around. And, like you can tell she's enjoying herself while me and her dad are stressed out as hell, just trying to get her back. And some nice people helped, which was very different. Nobody has ever actually helped me while I was struggling with my dog before, so that was really, really nice. And then one lady, I guess someone was like giving her shit because she pulled off to help me, and she's like, "Fuck off! I would do it again because like I helped them get their dog back. Like screw you." And I was like, "Good."
You
Like what
know,
the fuck? Just go around her. Like there was room in the street to go around her.
but
Like people can fuck off.
you know what you can do? You can like get an iPhone, like get a phone with just a minimal plan and like attach it to the puppy so that everywhere and do share location or something.
So she's chipped, basically.
No,
Yeah.
chip is like you cannot.
It's not like an internal chip, it's an external, like
No,
an
no, no.
AirTag.
No, like you would be able to see the phone at all time. Like you'd be able to see exactly where she is as long as she has cell reception. So it's probably going to cost you, I guess, $30 a month for the plan, maybe $20 a month, maybe less. You can use an old phone and like an old iPhone. Like you can get I have many old iPhones. So just make sure the battery's going to last. But the battery should last because like the display is going to be off, the audio, and then you could maybe talk to her. Maybe there is like a walkie-talkie app that you can install and talk to the puppy and tell her come home or stuff. But at least you'd be able to see her on them. Or is it a her?
She doesn't listen to her commands. Like that's the problem. Is like it also took me a lot just to get her to like listen to like the word no.
Fine.
And she doesn't sit down like because she's always spoken to in like a different language. So like she's not following either set of commands because nothing is consistent enough. So I keep trying to tell people only speak to her in English and only use like 2 words at a time.
I understand, but
You know, like it involves like some cooperation on other people's parts, and especially because she got out today because it's like someone just left the door like right open, and it's like, why would you leave the door open? Like, you get out of the apartment, you close the door. And then someone like almost just did it again, and I was like, what the hell, just close the door, like, where are other people in here? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it could be anyone. Like, what if my retarded nephew got out? What if my baby got out? What if it was a flock of geese who
Yeah.
came in? Like, close the door. Like, you know, it's just fucking common sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, puppies are very difficult. Like cats, yeah, cats too. Every
A
animal.
cat would just not come back if they didn't want to. Like, that's the whole point. Like, you wouldn't chase the cat. The cat would just come back if it felt like it.
Yeah.
The
Anyway,
cat would commonly find another family and just go chill out because it's getting better food and likes it more.
yeah.
And that's how a lot of people get their cats. They just find them.
Yeah.
Some cats have multiple families because the cat goes out, goes to another family's house, no one knows.
Oh. Yeah. Then
That's the life.
yeah, wait, does your puppy have a tag with your name, your phone number? The most important is your phone number.
Yeah, she's got his phone number on it, and she's got her name on it.
Okay.
I don't think she has his name on it.
Okay. Like the next thing would be to have a drone follow your puppy.
If I had a drone, I would just shoot a net onto her so that she wouldn't run around.
That would be a big drone.
That would really actually solve most of the problem.
No, that's going to be impossible. That's impossible.
Okay, you say impossible, I say I'm possible. Like, I'm gonna, like, do you understand that if I create this, people are gonna be like, oh, that's horrible. That's so horrible and
Yeah.
lazy and awful. And then they're gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna buy it. And they're not just gonna buy it for dogs. They're gonna buy it for cats, birds, everything, lizards, kids.
Yeah. Anyway, let me ask you, so what's up with your philosophical positions? Are you still vegan?
Yeah.
Really interesting. And are you still against plastic surgery?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. So you think, also you think that if I go to the gym, then I'm mentally unwell? If I go to the gym to look better, then
About your reasoning, yeah. If you go because you want to look better, then I think that that's rooted in some sort of disorder.
no,
And
I go to look better to get chicks. I don't care about how I look. I'd like to
well, then you're an opportunist.
Yeah.
That's slightly different, but I
Wait.
think that's still disordered.
Wait, that's a disorder? If I want to bang chicks, that's a disorder?
Well, you realize that when I went to the eating disorder facility and I told them I just want to look like this because it's what guys are attracted to, they said that was part of the reason that I was there.
I don't get it, but people
Because
just
your own health and your like basically your autonomy shouldn't shift because of what other people want. That's where the disorder lies. So if you're gonna basically give up part of your autonomy and say, I don't want to be doing this, but I will do it just for the sake of getting along with others, then yeah, that's part of a disorder. That means you were bullied into doing something.
well,
And
then
that's bullying work.
but I'm being bullied right now to speak English. No? Or you could say that math.
I don't think I'm socially pressuring you into speaking English.
What do you mean? That of course you are. That's exactly by the same reasoning as you just proposed. And
Well,
so
no, it's not, because the fact is this isn't about what you want. This is about like what you can understand. So if I was like ugly, you could still understand me. Even if I spoke in a different language, like if I spoke in your preferred language, you could still understand me no matter what I looked like.
But
This
any
is about what is
but any
what you
language
can do, not what you want.
What do you mean? But any language that we end up speaking, I would always be able to say that I'm being bullied into speaking this language, any language. And math would be also bullying. Like Like any
I
agreement.
think I was bullied into my second language, but I don't think I was bullied into my first language by default. I think that's just how society works. You just listen to noises and you get results when you
So
repeat
when
those
you
noises.
so
That's how
when you
language
teach
is.
so when you teach a child a language, that's just bullying. You're bullying the child into learning a language, into conforming into a language.
Okay, this is starting to skirt onto an actual argument.
Okay.
And I know that you're trying to use hyperbole, but the fact is this is actually coinciding into an actual argument for autistic people that I've already heard.
I don't understand. I mean, I'm
So
just
basically the argument I'm referring to is I spoke to a group of autistic people and some of them said that forcing autistic people to learn how to speak or what other people are saying to them is a form of abuse because they essentially don't want to and they don't need to because they can survive with assistance. But with assistance, they would still need to understand what their aides are doing and saying to them, and it would create less stress if they did. So I don't advocate for giving up speech therapy for autistic people. That's essentially what these other people were advocating for, is saying, fuck speech therapy, don't do it at all. If the kid is nonverbal, just communicate nonverbally. And I'm like, no, because the nonverbal child can still understand you. And half of that communication, even if they can't communicate back, would be soothing for the child as it is soothing for, coma patients, elderly people who can't talk, people with ventilators. Like, they still want to hear from the nurse, like, hi, I'm Nancy, I'm here to help you, like, this is what I'm about to do. It's a form of soothing the patient. So I don't think that we should give it up entirely. Like, there's a certain thing where people don't progress anymore. You don't keep pushing it, but that doesn't mean get rid of it.
oh, I'm not following, but I would
You
say
don't
that
get what I'm saying.
I don't understand. I mean, I'm saying in general,
Well, I'm saying
anytime.
this is the one place your argument actually does apply, because there are people who think that teaching children to speak English is bullying, but it's under certain circumstances. And those are the circumstances.
Right. I'm just saying like according to you, we shouldn't teach anyone anything because it's bullying. Like everybody anything that we teach is some conformal system. English, math, living in a society, getting dressed, like not
Do you
murdering.
think that teaching people is the same as seducing people?
The same as seducing? I didn't say I
No,
didn't.
because that's kind of how this is coming off. Because I'm saying I'm against, like, forms of brainwashing that control a population into conformity. And you're talking about just teaching people in general, like the form of getting information to one person to another. I don't think that's abusive in any way. Like, I
Wait,
never said teaching people things was wrong. I said that it's wrong to force people to feel a certain way, and
wait,
to do that through an algorithmic, like, sort of hypnotic brainwashing method.
wait, hold on. So I'm lost. So I said I want to go to the gym to look better, to bang chicks, and you said that's an illness.
It's a symptom of it.
Okay, so it's an illness, right? It's like
Well, no,
something.
having one aspect of an illness isn't the whole illness. So I couldn't say it's a mental illness in and of itself, but I can say it's an aspect of one.
Wait, is it? What does it mean that it? I'm completely lost. So according to you, if you ran the world, would you allow people to go to the gym to look better in order to bang chicks? Yes or no?
I would allow complete anarchy if I ruled the world.
Wait, what? You would allow?
I would allow anarchy.
But last
Yeah,
time,
because I feel like the only thing that is keeping the systems that I have problems with perpetuating is the fact that the other people who went to shut it down got arrested, or, got silenced in some way, either through technology or through patents. So I think that if we allowed actual complete freedom, the problems that I have would not exist and you would still get what you want.
Okay, so we completely agree on everything. We don't have
Yeah, but
anything.
I'm talking about the state of the world and you're living in a perfect world. Like, I can't have a perfect world argument when I want to talk about what's going on right now.
I don't understand. So if you
Because
ran,
I'm not talking about what should be. I'm talking about what is.
wait,
And like maybe like what I propose as a solution, but not I'm not talking about like if the world was already perfect, this is what
wait.
it would be like.
No, no, no. If
Because then
you,
it would just be
no, hold on. If you ran the world, would you allow me to go to the gym to look better, to bang more chicks? Yes or no?
yes, I would.
Okay. Then we
But
don't.
I would also allow everyone to do anything. Like
Sure.
I would not
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't pull people off the internet for like having disorders or whatever. Like I wouldn't censor people.
Okay, so I said in response, then we don't disagree on anything. We completely agree on everything. And then you said no.
Yeah, essentially, but at the same time, I'm talking about the world as it is right now. I'm not talking about like if the world was the way I wanted it to be, you know.
I'm lost. This is where I get lost. So I don't see any disagreement between me and you. Do you see a disagreement?
Mm, I'm just saying like I think you're living in like a future mindset when I'm talking about what's currently going on.
I'm lost. This every time you say that, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm I'm trying to see if we have an agreement or disagreement. So I asked you, if you ran the world, what would you do? Would you allow me to go to the gym to look better, to to bang chicks? You said you'd allow me and everyone to do anything. So I said, okay, then we completely agree on everything. And then you say something, and I don't know what you say. You say the world is not as it is in the future. I can't even repeat what you say because I have no idea what you say. Something about the future or the perfect world, imperfect world. I have no idea what you keep saying every time. Like I don't think we have a disagreement. Do you think we disagree on anything?
Not when it comes to how the world should be, but I think we disagree on how the world is.
What do you mean how the world is? We disagree on how the world is?
Yeah, like I see like an issue with certain things that you don't see an issue with because you think that ultimately they should be allowed. And I'm just like, well, yeah, but that doesn't mean
No.
they don't have a negative impact on other people.
No, I understand how you feel. I understand how you feel, but the solu I understand how you feel. When you describe the way the world is, I agree that the world is far from perfect. Some people are some guys are very handsome, tall, healthy, smart. Some chicks are amazing, beautiful, and some people are ugly, dumb, poor, homeless. Yeah, the world is crazy, and that's the way it is. So, okay, we agree that the world is the way it is. I'm not saying the world is perfect. I'm saying exactly, I agree with you basically completely. Like some people are ugly, dumb, basically hopeless, and want to kill themselves most of the time. And some people are
I
having
think they should be allowed to do that. Not only that, I think that that should be government funded.
what? They should not
Yeah,
be.
for anyone. Like anyone who wants to kill themselves, I think they should be able to go to a clinic, like the same clinic I go when I get my ears cleaned
Yes,
or like,
I
have
agree.
a throat infection. And I think that they should be able to say that they're sick of this
Yes,
and that they just want to go home with a bunch of pills. I think that should be
yes,
totally allowed.
I agree. I definitely agree. So again, I don't think we disagree on anything. I think we agree literally on everything. Do you think we disagree on anything? Do you think we have any disagreement?
We'd have to work it out, honestly, but the thing is we disagree on some fundamentals. Like I think that, veganism, for example, is ultimately the healthier choice. And you think, oh, that's not healthier for you, but I defend your right to be stupid. And I'm not defending my right to be stupid. I'm actually making a choice that I think is going to ultimately benefit me more than if I wasn't.
I don't care
I think that
so
more people
much.
should do that for their own health.
I don't care so much for my health. I do things that are unhealthy. That's like I'm not in this life to be healthy. I'm here to enjoy my life. Some of joy means unhealthy. Like if I bang a chick off the street,
Yeah.
I might get an STD. She might kill me when I sleep. Yeah, but if she's hot, I'll take my chances. I'm not here to live a healthy life. I'm here to enjoy my life to its maximum. That entails,
You're here for a good time. You're not here for a long time. I get what you're saying.
well, I'm here to optimize my time. So I don't care about, I'm not here to maximize the lifespan. I'm here to maximize my joy. I'm here to have the best time of my life. I'd like to live a very long, healthy life, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is to enjoy the time. So if I risk a little bit of
Yeah.
health and longevity, and in return I bang chicks, fine. That's, it's the ultimate.
Is there anything you can use as an example that isn't just banging chicks?
I mean, ultimately, I mean, well,
Like,
sure.
do you do anything else that's necessary, not like healthy? You okay?
I love physics too, but ultimately,
Yeah, but physics doesn't hurt you, I guess. It might get you put on like a government watch list, I guess. Like maybe if we really think about it, like is your pursuit of physics worth your privacy and your health and
no.
longevity?
Yeah,
Yeah, if big physics comes knocking on the door and is like, "Hey, shut it down."
big physics. That actually exists. I mean, big physics
I know
hates.
it does.
Yeah, that's true. I
That's
never.
why I just said I advocate completely for anarchy because, like,
Right.
imagine the things we'd have, technology and otherwise, if we were just anarchists and we didn't shut things down.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, but anyway, I digress. Does anything other than banging chicks like matter to you, or is this like the primary
I mean,
function?
it's not function. I mean, it's the ultimate purpose
It's your favorite thing to do, basically.
by far.
Or are you going off of this like biological standpoint where you're just like, yeah, we should bang chicks. It's what we're here for.
No, I'm not. No, it's just the most fun. The most fun is to bang chicks.
And yeah, there are people who don't really like having sex, but they just do it to get their number up because that's what matters.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't care about the number. I don't count the number of chicks I'm with. I mean, I can get my numbers up by banging, like not so beautiful chicks, but I only date super beautiful runway models. So I'm not here for the numbers. I'm here just to be with the most beautiful women possible. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I like pizza and ice cream and sugar and pasta and meat and debating vegan.
Yeah.
I love many things.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't mind people eating meat if they do it in like the most ethical way possible. The issue I have is instead of people actually doing that, they just claim to do it and then move on. Just the same way like a smoker is like, yeah, I don't do it very much, and then they continue to smoke every day
Wait a
until they get
minute.
cancer.
Wait, but what if you eat a tomato, but that tomato, the tomato farmer, he killed animals in order to grow that tomato. So is that still a vegan tomato?
That's a decent argument, but like the thing is, I don't think such an scenario would ever exist. I think it's possible to use dead animals to make fertilizer,
No.
especially the scraps of the animal. But
Wait, wait,
if
wait.
he's shooting a cow just to grow tomatoes, then that's retarded.
But is it a vegan tomato?
No, if you kill an
How do you
animal
know?
intentionally
So
to
how
make
do
a
when
product,
you
it's not vegan.
so when you buy when you buy a tomato, how do you know it's a vegan tomato? Maybe it's an anti-vegan tomato. How do you
You
tell?
want to know how I actually know?
Yeah, how do you know? Like maybe
You research.
maybe I'll give
You
you
have to research
I'll
it.
give you a hypothetical.
I'm answering your question.
Go ahead.
So basically, you just research how it's farmed, and then you find the code on the tomato, the code that is called an SKU, and the code is normally a 4-digit number, sometimes a 3-digit number, and it will say underneath the number where it's from. So it will say like from Mexico or from Honduras or from China, and then you can make a more informed decision because you know about the practices in that country as opposed to the practices like
Wait.
in an individual
Wait,
farm.
hold on.
So that's why they say, excuse me, that's why they say that avocados are not vegan unless they are from Mexico. When they are produced in California, they are so destructive when they produce those avocados that they are actually killing animals. So they are not vegan. The ones from Mexico are. That's my explanation.
So you're telling me that like when I go to the supermarket and I buy a tomato, I might be less vegan than if I buy a piece of steak.
I wouldn't know how to quantify that, but I think that if you're buying the steak, it's automatically less vegan because there's an intention.
No, but let's say for the
But I will say this. No, let me give you something because I'm working with you.
Mhm.
If the steak is from an old cow that died anyway,
Mhm.
that would be more vegan than buying an avocado from California. Because the avocado from California, they intentionally killed animals to be able to produce it. The
Mhm.
steak, no one intentionally killed an animal, the animal just died. And this is a product now that is either going to become garbage
Mhm.
or it's going to be used.
But the cow, you
So
know,
if you
but the
choose to
cow,
use it, that, in my opinion, is still vegan.
what if what if you brought the cow to this life in order to be eaten? So it would not have
It's
had
not
this.
vegan. You had the intention of killing it the whole time.
Yeah, but I gave it life. So, it's
Well,
one.
you had birth. You gave birth to the cow. Like, what do you mean you gave it life?
Let's say I created the cow in a lab. Yeah, let's say I gave birth, I gave
Oh,
life to the.
Jesus.
Wait, what? Um,
That's like the worst thing I've ever heard. You gave life intentionally in a lab just so you could kill it for food.
well,
That's the worst thing I've ever heard because you could
why?
do that.
Wait, let's
You could
say.
literally regrow the meat from stem cells. You wouldn't have to kill an animal. At that point, you're just killing an animal for your own fun.
Wait a minute. So let's say I discovered that I was given life just like that for to be eaten, but in the interim, I'm living a great life. Let's say I just discovered somebody just makes a phone call. I receive a phone call. They tell me, "Hey, listen. So we gave you life in a lab, and everything around you it's all fake. We just we just gave you life to eat you, and now is the time to eat you. We hope you enjoyed this life. You ate some pizza and banged some chicks, but this is the end." Would And then they ask me, but we have a survey. We want to ask you, would you have rather not lived this life, or would you rather have lived this life but be killed and eaten? So I would tell you, I would. My response is, of course, if I could do it again, I would do it again. Of course, I would rather live this life, enjoy this life, and then die, be killed and eaten, rather than not live this
And all the
life.
people who wouldn't.
Right, but I don't care. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean,
Mm.
the fact that I gave a living creature a chance to live, and in return, it became a delicious meal. For me, that's ethical because I would make the same choice if I were the
I
cow.
think the ethics for me, it's like how you treat the animal and do you allow it to live its actual full life? Because if you're killing the animal for any other reason
Hmm.
than putting it out of its own misery,
Hmm.
then you just killed it to produce food.
Yeah.
Like if you raise the animal and the animal is like part of your family and
Hmm.
then it gets to be so old that they're miserable every day
No.
and you have to put it down and then you
No.
decide to eat it.
No.
I think that's ethical and I think that's the only way that you can do this ethically and it's the
No.
only thing that I advocate for.
Well, I'm different. So, like, if
Well, yeah,
I
but you're about pleasure seeking.
no, no. I'm
Like,
saying no,
I
no,
mean, this is just not going to matter to you because you don't care about the feelings of the animal or the
no,
feelings of the people who like the animals.
no. I said if I were the cow, if I were to receive the phone call that informed me that I have been a cow, and this life, I just lived this life. We hope you enjoyed this life, but it's the end. I would, and they said, oh, just for the survey, would you do it again? The answer is, of course. Of course, I would do it again. Just, make it, kill me as quickly and painlessly as possible. I hope you enjoy the meal, but thank you for this one life. So that's why I think it is, it's not that I think, that's why it is ethical, in my opinion, to bring an animal to life, give it life, and then eat it. It's completely ethical because that's how I would feel if I were the animal. So it's perfectly fine. So when you say that's the worst thing, no, in my opinion, that's the best thing. The best thing for me is to have lived this life. That's the best thing, obviously. Because I can always exit. And I don't exit. I enjoy this life. I love this life. This life is amazing. Most of the time. Some of the time it's boring, but most of the time, a lot of the time it's incredible. I love it. So giving, if I give an animal life and then I take the life, well, it still had the life that it lived. It's not that I take away the life that it lived. The life that it lived, this experience, it enjoyed it, and at the end, I kill it as painlessly as possible, and I eat it as deliciously as possible, and that's perfectly fine. If it were me, I would say fine, perfectly fine. I don't have any objection.
But
As
you're not letting them live like their entire lifespan
no,
and you're choosing
no,
when to cut it short.
yeah, that's the condition. I don't mind. If I were the animal, I would not mind. I don't mind. Kill me whenever you want.
That's really easy to say when no one's actually doing it.
Well, yeah, but I'm running through the thought experiment. I'm just saying it doesn't matter as long every minute that you give me, it's a gift, including the first minute. The first minute that you gave
That's
me,
such a slave mentality, though. Like, I mean, pardon, but at the same time, you are Mr. Slave. Like, that's
no,
what this whole thing is kind of
no,
reminding me of is like those
no.
people's arguments for slavery where they're just like, oh, well, we brought them out of Africa and they're doing better now. Like, so shouldn't they just be happy about it? Like, like, no. Just
Ask
because
them.
you give someone something doesn't mean that taking it away isn't an act of abuse.
No, if you asked me if I'd rather be a slave in America or live as a free person in Africa, I personally would
Fuck.
rather I personally would rather be a slave in America than a free person in Africa. That's just me. So I think slavery is ethical. That's just me. Everybody to each his own. I'm pro slavery. That's why I'm Mr. Slave. I love slavery. I love being a slave.
It's not slavery if you get to choose.
Well, I'd rather be a slave than a free person. If being free means homeless and being a slave means having a home,
I
then
agree.
then
I
that's
agree.
then we're
I'm
pro.
I'm not saying that I don't agree with you, but I'm saying that that's indentured. Like that's not the same as slavery. Slavery is not a choice, and a lot of the time slaves are not given homes. They are still homeless. They're kept outside. So
No, that It doesn't matter. I'd rather be, look, in most circumstances where there is, when I hear about slavery, I don't see the issue. Like people turn slavery into this, oh, slavery. I don't see. I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see the argument for this. Oh, slavery. It was so. No, it's nothing.
Oh Jesus! Like
Yeah.
my great grandma like owned slaves, and like
Yeah.
she didn't have
That's
the
fine.
mentality to like understand it, but she had severe PTSD from it.
I'm sorry, but if a woman owned me and would whip me around the clock, I would thank her so much. I would always ask for more whipping. I would always
Something's messed up with you.
I would always tell her that I've been very bad and I need to do much better and she needs to whip me so that I become better all the
Well, you know,
time.
sometimes these fetishes or even like aversions,
What?
sometimes they're passed down like genealogically. So maybe
I don't know.
maybe this is just in your genetic makeup, and I can't do anything about it.
I don't know. Look, I honestly don't know. I'm just pro corporal punishment. Like if it comes from a woman and she really enjoys like beating me to death, then I'm fine with that. Like that's
Oh,
better
I
than
don't know, man. I'm very both. I don't know, because the thing is, like, every time I'm anti-corporal punishment, just because I had to go through it and it was not productive, I keep meeting kids who seriously need an ass beating.
No, I'm
And there's just
anti.
nothing else I can explain. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No,
but yeah, like some kids fucking need it, and I don't know what
no,
else to do.
no. But sometimes
Yeah, because
if
that's the only language they speak.
no,
That's the only thing
no,
that they know.
stop with the nonsense. No. But I like sometimes if you have kids and you really love them, try it and tell them, I need to spank you. If you tell them I need to spank you, they would say, come on, spank me. They would love it so much. like, like if you
Now
love your
that's
kids,
something I'm calling
no, if you
like nanny and super nanny for this.
no. If you no, super nannies are terrible. They don't know how to train kids. Anyway, but if you really love your kids and they love you and you tell them you need to spank them, I'm guaranteeing you right now they would love it. They would say, "Come on, spank me, please." I'm telling you, I from experience. Kids love it when you actually when you love them and you're never violent with them and you're always like in harmony with them. Then the spanking becomes such a funny. It's just funny. It's just a joke.
So answer a question for me, okay? Because I
Mm-hmm.
think we're talking about two different scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Is spanking supposed to hurt?
I mean, if you have a terrible parent, which most parents are, then they try to hurt the children. Yes, that's very bad. They shouldn't.
So is your answer no?
I'm against corporal punishment. I'm against punishment, period. We shouldn't need punishment. Punishment is because we have poverty. Because we have poverty, we need to punish criminals. But if everybody was wealthy, if we had plenty of everything, then there would be no reason to be a criminal.
Well, we have plenty of
No, we
everything.
don't.
We're literally just
No,
subsidizing it and
no, no,
making
no,
sure that only the rich people get it.
no. That's not true. There's
No,
not.
we have most resources
No,
other than natural resources that make a very select few medications.
no,
We have
no,
everything.
no. We're very
End world
poor.
hunger
No,
today.
no. We're very poor. No, we're very poor. The world is very poor, and we could be much wealthier. Let's say when every person has their own apartment and food and clothes, then you could say, okay, we're wealthy. And at that point, if you'd have criminals, I would be surprised. So there is actually, we know the statistics. There's correlation between poverty and violence, or poverty and crime. Crime is just a survival strategy for poverty. When you have poor people, they just try to survive, and crime is just a survival strategy. So we know the statistics. We know what causes crime. So we shouldn't need punishment. as a solution to crime. We need wealth as a true solution to crime. But as long as we don't have wealth,
Right, yeah.
as long as now corporal punishment, it's the same. So if you know how to train your kids, then you shouldn't need punishment. But if you don't know how to train your kids, then everything is going to get messed up, and then you end up using punishment, and even corporal punishment. It's just like any other punishment. It's like when you punish criminals, yeah, you're disincentivizing crime, but people are still hurting because they're poor. It's not that they became criminals for no reason. We know the reason. We know the correlation. They become criminals because they are poor. Kids misbehave. There is a reason. If you punish them, then you're disincentivizing the misbehavior. But there is a reason for misbehaving. So you need to see why they're misbehaving and fix that. So like children misbehave because they need to go to school and they hate school. So school is the problem. Schooling is the problem. Schooling is child abuse. Schooling was created to employ women, to employ teachers. That's why it's the most powerful union in the universe, the teachers union. That's all it's about. Teaching is all about the teachers union. It's just about job security. It has nothing to do with the benefit of the children. It's actually at the detriment of the children. A lot of the misbehavior, a lot of crime, a lot of the issues in society are because of schooling, because of the teachers union. That's the source of evil. Anyway, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I'm starving. I gotta go eat. Are you there?
All right, dude. Yeah, I've just been listening.
Okay, I'll text you later, and if you have time, we'll continue.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna be available for a few hours.
Fantastic. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Cool. See you.
See you. Bye. All right. I'm starving. I gotta go eat. Okay. See you later, everyone. Bye.